Hey Northwest, how you guys doing? Over the last few weeks, we've been talking about imperialism, and we touched a little bit initially on nationalism. Now I want to go ahead and mention that nationalism in your textbook is covered in Chapter 8. And nationalism, as we said, dealt with a lot of people becoming proud of their country and proud of who they are as a people group. So this goes back a while to when we were still in school, but we talked about how Germany was a whole bunch of little city-states, and there were hundreds of them, and then they got it down to 30, and then during the course of the nationalist period, which was late 1800s into the beginning of 1900s, you saw the formation of an actual German nation under a guy named Otto von Bismarck. And all that stuff is covered in Chapter 8 for you. And then we switched into imperialism, which dealt with expansion out into the world. And we've been doing that exercise with the shoe company and them expanding out into the world. And I know it's kind of a silly thing, but just to give you an idea of what imperialism is like and the impact that it has on the world. And that is covered in Chapter 12. Well, coming up very shortly in our study is something that happens in 1914. And I'm not going to say right away what that is, but if you remember your history enough, you'll be able to figure that out. But there are four things that I want to point out that lead to this big event. So we have the word main, and M is militarism. Militarism is the idea of, well, developing your military, becoming stronger, building up resources for that. And then we have alliances. Alliances are connecting with other countries, and even with the shoe company exercise, there were a number of people that chose to create alliances with other companies as opposed to just fighting against them. And then we have imperialism, that expansionism out, and the Great Britain is a perfect example of imperialism, but a lot of other countries were doing that, including the United States. And imperialism, in terms of Britain, they were described as the nation where the sun never sets, the empire where the sun never sets. And that was because all around the world there were some sort of British colonies. So at some point during the day, there was always a point in the day where the sun was shining on a British piece of land. And then this last one is nationalism. Now I know that the idea of a nation or a people group becoming unified together sounds good, and that in itself is good. But nationalism has the tendency to take it to the point of we are the only ones that matter. Britain first, Germany first, France first, America first. This idea that we are the best and everyone is lesser than. And this has led to a lot of horrible things over the years, over the last 100+ years, and continues to be an issue. We've actually seen a rise in that within the last decade as well. So over this next week, you're actually going to be doing something a little bit different. I know we've experimented a little bit with discussion through the shoe company exercise. This time, I'm going to pose a question to you, and then you are going to answer it in the Google Classroom. Now, I want everybody to answer that question, and then I want you to respond to 2 other people. So this means that everyone needs to be writing something so that people can respond to it, and do it sooner rather than later so there's more time to discuss things. And so if someone says, I believe this about this, this, and this, then you should respond and say, well, there's this thing that I don't agree with and this is why, or hey, yeah, that's a good point because of this. Now when you do that, what I want to see is I want to see a page number from the textbook that supports your idea, or if you want, you can use an online source, but make sure that you include the web address in there as well. So like I said, chapter 8 and chapter 12 are what we are covering in this unit, and chapter 8 starts on page 244, and chapter 12 starts on page 336. Sorry, chapter 11. Chapter 8 and 11. Excuse me. That was probably really loud through the microphone. So you're going to respond, you're going to post a response, and then you're going to respond to other people. And so you'll have from today until next Tuesday to do that. But like I said, do it sooner rather than later so everyone has time to respond to things and that you can look up some stuff. And then Thursday, I'm actually going to have a worksheet for you that connects with chapter 11. And we'll be continuing this on. And then the following week, we'll get into what's this big thing that happens in 1914, which I think you guys can figure out before then. But thank you for those that have been working on your assignments. Please keep doing that. And if you haven't joined us, please do. I saw that there were 65 people that watched the initial greeting video, and then only like 20 something that watched the other video. So hey, get connected, get your grade up, and stay safe. Thank you.